All right, let's dive into a topic that isn't some far-off idea anymore. We're talking about a technology that is here, right now, and it's already changing everything. That's right, we're talking about artificial intelligence. It's a world filled with amazing possibilities, but also some really tough questions. So let's get into what it all really means for us.
You know, at the very center of every single conversation about AI, it really boils down to this one question. Is this thing a helpful tool that's going to make us better and smarter? Or is it something that's going to take our jobs and mess with our way of life? We're going to look at both sides of that argument. I get it. When you hear AI, you might still be thinking of something from a sci-fi movie. But the truth is, it's already a part of our everyday lives. Seriously, from the voice assistant on your phone to the safety features in new cars, AI is just becoming normal.
Okay, so what exactly do we mean when we say AI? Well, to put it simply, it's about making machines that can do things that usually need a human brain. You know, stuff like learning from the past, figuring out tricky problems, or even understanding what we say.
So let's start with the bright side, the promise of AI. What are the actual benefits we're getting from this? Because the potential advantages here are absolutely massive, and they touch on everything from business and science to keeping us safe. One of the biggest advantages is just how efficient it is. I mean, unlike us, machines don't need to sleep or take a coffee break. They can work 24/7, sifting through mountains of data in the blink of an eye. This is how scientists can speed up their research, or how doctors can diagnose diseases faster. And it's not just about speed, it's also about safety. We can now send AI-powered robots into really dangerous places, like deep underground mines or even into space, which keeps people out of danger.
Of course, with that kind of power comes some pretty big challenges. To really get the whole story, we have to talk about the real worries that a lot of people have about AI's quick rise.
For a lot of people, the first thing that comes to mind is jobs. And it's a valid concern. We are already seeing jobs that used to only be done by people, like working on an assembly line or even writing simple reports, can now be done by machines. And that trend, well, it naturally makes people worried about what the future of work looks like.
But it goes deeper than just the job market. There's also this huge issue of trust. See, AI systems learn from the information we give them. So, what happens if that information is biased or unfair? Well, the AI learns that bias too, and its decisions can end up being just as unfair.
And believe me, this isn't just a what-if problem. When a biased AI is used in really important fields like law or healthcare or education, the consequences can be serious. Just imagine an AI unfairly denying someone a loan or getting a medical diagnosis wrong, all because of bad data.
So, when you look at all these challenges, you might wonder, what do we do? Well, the good news is we're not just sitting back and watching this happen. There are real, concrete steps we can take to make sure our future with AI is a good one.
It really comes down to a three-part plan. First, we've got to focus on the skills that make us human. You know, creativity, solving really complex problems, and understanding emotions. Machines aren't great at that stuff. Second, we absolutely need governments and companies to create some fair rules for how AI is used. And finally, it comes down to our attitude. We have to see AI as a tool to help us, not as an enemy to be afraid of.
So as we start to pull all this together, let's think about what our role is going to be in this new world that we're building, a world where we're going to be living and working right alongside these intelligent machines.
In the end, how we look at this whole thing is what's going to matter the most. Yes, AI has challenges that we need to face head-on, but it also gives us this incredible chance, a chance to solve some of the world's biggest problems, and that's how we should see it.
And that is the goal we should all be aiming for. Not a future where it's humans versus machines, but one where we work together, where our human wisdom and creativity guides the amazing power of AI to build a better, fairer world for every single one of us.
So, I'll leave you with this last thing to think about. With all the incredible things machines can learn to do, what's the one human skill that you think they will never, ever be able to replace?